mis ojos a los montes, ¿quién me ayudará?
La ayuda me viene del Señor.
For those who have read the life of Saint Faustina, when she was experiencing the call to religious life, she lived in Lodz, and she went to a party in the park in Lodz. And when she was dancing, Jesus appeared to her. And Jesus was with a crown of thorns, and Jesus was suffering, and Jesus said to Saint Faustina, "How long do I have to wait for you?" And then the Lord said to Saint Faustina, "Go to Varsovia, go to Warsaw, and enter the convent." And so Saint Faustina immediately consecrated that decision to Our Lady, and she decided to come to Warsaw to look for a convent that will accept her. So she went to a couple of convents, and they didn't open the door for her. And so one of the priests that she went to said, "Why don't you go to Our Lady, the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy?" So she went to the Mother House, which is here in Warsaw. She knocked on the door, and the Mother Superior, Mother Michaela, said, "Go to the chapel and ask Jesus if this is the place where he wants you." So Saint Faustina went to the chapel, and she asked Jesus, "Is this the place that you have prepared for me?" And she asked the Blessed Mother, "Is this the home where I am to live my religious vocation?" And she heard Jesus say, "This is the place." And so she went to the Mother General, and she said, "Mother, Jesus said that this is the place I am supposed to live my religious vocation." And Mother Michaela said, "If Jesus accepted you, I accept you." So we are going to the house where Saint Faustina began her religious life and lived her novitiate here. And one of the beautiful things that happened here in the house, in the Mother House, is that Jesus told Sister Faustina, "My daughter, I desire that your heart be formed in the school of my merciful heart. I desire that you will be impregnated completely of my mercy." And this is when Saint Faustina was only a novice here in the Mother House. So look at all the beautiful things that happened. First, she heard the call. She was kind of refusing the call. She wanted to live the life of a single lady, and then Jesus appeared to her and said, "How long do I have to wait for you?" And Jesus appeared to her suffering and said, "You need to enter a convent in Warsaw." Then she asked Our Lady to guide her to the right convent. And she came to Warsaw, and all the doors were closed except the ones of the congregation that she was supposed to belong, the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy. I invite you to let the Lord speak to your hearts. You know, in the case of Saint Faustina, it was religious life. But each young person has a choice to make, a fundamental choice in life. And maybe in this place you want to ask, because we've been asking for courage, maybe in this place we want to ask for courage to respond to whatever vocation the Lord is calling us to. It can be priestly life, religious life, or married life, Christian married life. But in this place, that it was so fundamental for Saint Faustina's choice, why don't we take advantage and we ask for the same grace? Lord, help me to know through the hands of Our Lady which is the vocation that I was created for. Not the vocation that I want to embrace. No, the vocation that I was created for, and that I need to understand so I can fully realize my life. So when we are there, ask that question to the Lord. Lord, what do you want of me? Because that is what I was created for.
Jesus, we praise you, we adore you, Lord God, for choosing us to become fully who we are, to be free, to become beautiful. You want us to be all that we were created to be. You want us to find the treasure of our lives. And that treasure is hidden because it's only to be discovered by each one of us. We are here in the place where Saint Faustina discovered the pearl of great price. We are here, Lord, in the same place where she heard your voice, revealing to her the place, the soil where the vocation of her heart was to be planted. Each one of the young people here, Lord, has a beautiful plan of love that you have designed from all eternity. I ask you, Lord, that they discover the great pearl, that pearl of great price for their own lives. If they're called to marriage, that they begin to live according to the dignity of that vocation, that they begin to live only to preserve themselves for that person to whom they will give themselves completely to. If they're called to be priests, that they discover that your love is sufficient. If they're called to be religious, that there's such a beauty in being totally yours. Whether it's marriage, Lord, that it may be Christian marriage. Whether it's priesthood, that it will be a gift of total donation to the Lord and to the church. And if it's religious life, it will be a total donation to Jesus and to His people. Whatever vocation you have chosen for each of us, it is the pearl of great price. Let us not be afraid to hear the Lord call us to that vocation that from all eternity is in His heart. And it is the reason why He created you for. Share with you, and I want you to pay attention to. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13, the Lord gave us the parable of the pearl of great price. And He said, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and covered up. Then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. who on finding one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. The Lord has a treasure for each one of us. And it is true that it's hidden, and that we must seek for it to be able to find it. Actually, Saint Faustina was seeking in all the convents of Warsaw, and she came thinking that she was not going to find the pearl. She came to this convent. She knocked on the door, and this is the place where it was hidden. But here, many of you are called to the vocation to marriage. Some of you may be called to the vocation to the priesthood, and some of you to the vocation to religious life. And I really sense that the Lord wants to tell you a word. If you're called to marriage, you need to do the same thing that the man who found the treasure did. You need to guard it. That vocation is a grace. That vocation will be the path of happiness for you when you find the right person. But if you discover that your vocation is marriage, you need to protect yourselves. You need to guard the undividedness of your heart. You need to protect your purity for that person. You need to protect the capacity to be faithful for that person. And this means for women and men. Don't think that because you're young, you have permission to do anything in life. Because whatever you do now is what you will become in the future. Some young people tell me that the youth is the time to have fun. Like if you can separate the youth from adulthood. This is the time of training, of becoming who you're gonna be, depending on the vocation that the Lord has called you to. Young men, you must respect yourselves, and you must respect women. Young women, you must respect yourself, and you must respect men. If in the future you want to be a good husband and a good wife, you're just one person. You cannot waste the grace of who you are. Then the Lord can heal you. Of course He can heal you. But if you have the opportunity to preserve the treasure from now, do it now. So you don't have to go through the healing, the restoration. The same for those who feel called to the priesthood and religious life. You must preserve the gift. Don't play with fire. So your vocation can be stolen by the enemy. Your vocation can be wounded by the forces of the world. both the man looking for the treasure and the merchant searching for the pearl, when they found them, they hid the treasure and they went joyfully. Because our vocations, whatever that may be, is the path of love and the path of joy. They went joyfully to sell everything. So the only thing I desire to share with you that I feel so much is beating from the heart of Jesus, the divine mercy image that we have in front. Just as the Lord said to Saint Faustina here, you have found your place. Ask Jesus to show you your place in history, your place in the world. But once you discover it, you must protect it. You must guard it. You must cultivate it. And you must be joyful. Because God created you to be what now you may be discovering. But it is being written in the heart of God from all eternity. To place your hand next to your brother and sister and pray. Let us pray for one another, that the Lord realizes His plans of love with us, and that we may not be an obstacle. That we may not be afraid to open our hearts wide to Christ. We need one another to say yes to the Lord. Whatever you desire of us, Lord, we need your grace. We need the love of the Blessed Mother, and we need the love of our brothers and sisters. That we may always conquer fear with love. Because love is greater than any fear in our hearts. That we may live a life worthy of our vocation, to be Christians. That we may live our youth preparing to donate our lives, whether it is in marriage, in priesthood, or religious life. Every vocation is a path of donation. And we must prepare ourselves for that type of love. That we may live in the dignity of the children of God. That we may know that our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. the visible expression of our love. That we may know that we are called to greater things and that we should never settle for less. Blessed Saint John Paul II, teach us the path to live the highness of the human love. Teach us to authentically love by respecting and honoring one another, by becoming a gift to the other and seeing in the other a gift. If Saint Faustina would have not had obeyed the voice of Jesus, she wouldn't have come here. And if she wouldn't have come here, we will not have the Divine Mercy Devotion, which has spread all over the world. A small fiat from a very small person can open floodgates of mercy for the world. Do not be afraid to say yes to whatever it is that the Lord is calling you. Because that fiat is necessary for the Lord to open floodgates of grace and mercy in the world. The cooperation of the human person is fundamental. We live in a culture where nothing matters and everything is the same. And it's not the same to say yes or to say no. And everything matters. If Saint Faustina will have not obeyed the voice of Christ, we will not have Saint Faustina. And we will not be contemplating the image of Divine Mercy. Saint John Paul II would have said no. We will not have Saint John Paul II the Great. His life, his person, his magisterium, his pontificate, his teaching, his legacy. I invite you today, even if you're not clear or you don't know whatever it is that the Lord wants for you, that you say to the Lord, when I find the pearl of great price, I will say yes. When I know what you desire of me, Lord, I will say yes. Because the chapters of history in the life of the church, they're always written with those who say yes. A few years ago, the Lord called Father to be a priest. And I remember because I met him when he was in seminary. I remember the joys and the fears. And I was just thinking that if fears would have conquered in your life, Father, we wouldn't have not been able to have Mass today. We wouldn't have been able to receive the Eucharist. when love conquers, life is given. And so I asked Father to send that because he's an example of fear that is conquered. But just the fact that if he wouldn't have said yes, we will not have Mass today. We will not be able to go to confession throughout the pilgrimage. Thank you because you allowed love to triumph. And we are receiving the benefits of your yes. And so I would like you, Father, if you can pray over us, especially for the young people, to be delivered from any fear, so they can be free to say yes to whatever vocation, marriage, priesthood, religious life that the Lord has for them.
That your perfect love that you offer for each of us, Lord, will be enough. That we will be able to receive your love in order to be renewed and transformed, to give our fiat as your blessed mother did. Saying yes, not knowing what was to come or where the road would end, but trusting in the love that you have for each of us, Lord, and the plan that you would allow to unfold in our hearts and in our lives. May all of us here present, Lord, grow in holiness and great awareness of the love you have for us as your beloved sons and daughters.
Will be wasted, but carefully cultivated in our hearts. Blessed Mother, teach us to keep, to treasure, and to ponder everything that comes from the heart of your Son in our hearts. Amen. May love
always triumph.
Amen. We need to give a big applause to the Lord for the beautiful bishop and for the powerful word that he gave us. But remember, the Lord can speak and we can forget what he said. The Lord can speak and we can waste every word. So we need to ponder in our hearts the fact that he said that whatever vocation, whether it's marriage, whether it's religious life or priesthood, is the one that will make you happy. But most importantly, that you need to protect your hearts, your bodies, your souls, and your minds to fully realize them. And realize them in peace and in purity. Okay, so praise the Lord that he gave us that word in the place that he spoke to Saint Faustina about her vocation. Un gran aplauso.